America, the numbers are in, and they're sending shockwaves through Washington. Donald Trump isn't just leading in the polls, he is surging. We're talking about a 7-point lead over Kamala Harris in the latest Rasmussen poll. But it gets better. Trump's winning 40% of the black vote in New York, and he is even leading among independents. The mainstream media is in panic mode, folks. Even Neil Cavuto at Fox. They're trying to downplay these numbers, but we've got the inside scoop on what these polls really mean for 2024. Now, check this out. Are you listening? Just like Trump's surging in the polls, your testosterone levels could be surging too. Many think that low T is due to aging or genetics, but the real culprit might be on your plate. There's one food, something that you've been told is healthy, that's devastating your testosterone levels. It's not junk food or sugar. It's far more surprising, and cutting this from your diet could transform your energy and motivation. V-Shred, well, they've seen incredible results with their clients. They want to know. Do you want to know what this food is? Head over to sculptnation.com/NNN or click the link below. V-Shred experts reveal it all. Don't miss this game-changing information. So a new poll alert is out. Trump surging ahead of Harris in key swing states. Georgia, North Carolina with a 5-point shift in the latest Quinnipiac polling. General consensus, pollsters might not be capturing the full picture. Trump's support could be even stronger than they think.
Quinnipiac shows Trump. Polling from Quinnipiac shows Trump ahead of Harris in two important swing states, Georgia and North Carolina. That looks pretty bad for Harris if the momentum has shifted in those two states.
It's been a 5-point shift from their most recent polling. Quinnipiac has not been terribly kind to President Trump. That's okay. We want these polls to be as honest as possible. They are still all over the map. I think a lot of these pollsters have not adjusted for people who are either not answering the phone when they call and talking about Trump voters, or they just flat out lie. I think the numbers for Trump in some of these close states are actually a little bit better than the polling that we're seeing. Real Clear Politics is calling Pennsylvania a tie. I was just there this weekend talking to a lot of people, and you have some very, very motivated Trump supporters who are being more vocal about their support this time around than they were in 2020.
So that's some good news from Quinnipiac. And CNN actually dropping one of the worst polls to date for Kamala Harris. Electoral college win probability, Donald Trump 68.4% to Kamala Harris at 30.9%. Kamala Harris has totally lost CNN, and I love it. Bryce Lipscomb says, never in my life did I expect that this could be President Donald Trump's electoral map, but these polls are speaking for themselves. The DNC is headed for a world of hurt. Look at this. Democrats, 174 electoral votes. Republicans at 364. That is a landslide victory for Donald Trump. People are sick and tired of the destructive policies of the Biden-Harris regime. And Kamala Harris running around the country with her cackle and her joy and her AstroTurf is not going to save it. Voter registration in Arizona is trending towards Republicans. This is a potentially massive signal. The polls are underestimating Trump yet again. Look at these numbers, 2024 versus 2024. 2020 versus 2024. Look at all that. Up. So Rasmussen, this is funny because Neil Cavuto snapped today when Donald Trump brought up this poll. Rasmussen dropping a poll revealing Trump gaining massively on Kamala Harris in New York, shows winning 40% of the black vote and outright winning independent voters. No wonder Democrats keep importing illegals into New York City. They need replacement votes. We've been saying this since the border was wide open, that this is the plan. Let's listen in. We'll get to the Cavuto clip in a second here, but let's listen to this official video from Rasmussen.
Now, this is incredible. Trump is only down 11 points on Harris in New York. That's incredible. And what's fascinating is Trump does pretty poorly with New York Republicans, at least compared with Harris and Democrats. But the independent signal is going really strong for Trump by 9 points. Trump doesn't do that great in the white vote, probably because of the urban vote. But in the sample, Trump's getting 40% of the black vote in New York. That is huge. And Harris is getting the Hispanic vote. Again, a smaller subsample. We couldn't do everything with weighting. And 18 to 39-year-olds are breaking Harris by 13 points. Now, this is incredible. We're talking about 23 to 11. So Trump has made up, according to this analysis, over half of his loss against Biden just in the last 4 years. Now, we've been talking a lot about how, in my opinion, the battleground state polling has been lagging Trump's national numbers. And one take on that, and I think there's some truth to it, is that all of the state polling is still leaning somewhat left. I think there's also an aspect of in the battleground states, that's where most of the Democrat advertising dollars are going. But another conclusion might be that deep blue centers are breaking Trump more than they have in like forever.
He brings up the deep blue areas. I saw a post today. I did not bookmark it, but it did say that Kamala has amplified her spending, her marketing, her advertising in Illinois, Chicago specifically. That's a bad sign, okay? When they up their spend in Chicago. So, yeah, Neil Cavuto went off on a rant about how he thinks Trump is lying by being up 7 points, as reported by Rasmussen. He loses it on Trump for reporting that illegals are the ones getting all the new jobs, as reported by the government. Their own reporting.
That the government... Right, I don't know what poll he's referring to where he says he is up 7 points. And one other reference I want to refer to when he was talking about more illegals are...
Obviously, he didn't do his homework.
He is up 7 points. And one other reference I want to refer to when he was talking about more illegals are accounting for these jobs than anyone else. I don't know where he is getting that. In the latest employment report out today, 254,000 jobs were gained. Says nothing about annotations for illegals getting those jobs, nor would it. The fact of the matter is both private payrolls and across virtually all sectors, save barely any movement at all in manufacturing, the job gains were double what were thought. Furthermore, the numbers for August and July were revised upward, 55,000 and 17,000 respectively. Now, people can quibble with that data, as they often do, and this big revision that the government had in showing that 818,000 fewer jobs over the last year than were earlier reported. The Labor Department came out with that, as it does every year, in revised figures when they take everything into account. And even with that, millions of more jobs gained. I only stress that because the jobs are what the jobs are. Some are revised, and indeed on a monthly basis they can be updated. But these grew, and there was no annotation of any of these disproportionately going to illegals. That would be.
Oh, poor Neil. Used to like that guy. Ren G. Cavuto is. I saw that and thought, wow, what a jerk Cavuto is. Plus, Trump is on the ground helping hurricane victims. What's Cavuto doing other than whining and spreading false info? Who wouldn't believe that Trump is up by 7 points? I'd actually say Trump could be up by 80 points with this circus. So we got some big poll numbers coming out. Here it is. This is the actual poll. Trump opens up a 7-point lead in the latest Rasmussen daily national poll. That's what Trump was referring to. And Neil Cavuto failed to do his homework on that. Before 2020, before the election, aggregate polls had Biden in the lead in Florida. Listen to this. By up to almost 3 percentage points. Despite this, Trump won by a 3.4 point margin. Okay? So the polls showed Biden leading by 3 points. Trump won by 3.4. 2024 polls have Trump up by 4%. If the 2024 polls are half as accurate as in 2020, Trump is up by 7.4% in Florida. With the latest slew of polling data, CNN's poll of polls gives Trump a near 70% chance of winning the 2024 election. CNN's poll of polls provides a shocking update on Trump's chances. Donald Trump is the clear favorite right now to win the 2024 election under CNN's latest national poll update, with win odds at nearly 70%. Trump is the clear favorite. And here is CNN reporting that 28% of Americans think the U.S., 28% of Americans think the United States is on the right track.
Think that the country.
Hello? Not sure. Play.
That this
Here we go.
sort of gets
Sorry.
at a problem.
Oh, come on. I don't know what's going on tonight here.
For Kamala Harris's campaign, just 28% of Americans think the U.S. is on the right track. And I want you to put that into perspective, right? When does the average, when the incumbent party loses the election, look at that. It's just 25%. That looks a heck of a lot like that 28%, right, that currently think the country is on the right track. When the White House party wins, i.e. Kamala Harris's party, the Democrats, 42% on average think that the country is on the right track. This 25% looks a lot more like this 28%. It doesn't look anything like this 42%. This, to me, is a bad sign for Kamala Harris's campaign. The bottom line is it looks a lot more like a loser than it does like a winner when it comes to the country being on the right track.
That's bad news for Kamala Harris. That is it. Trump skyrocketing to a 7-point lead over Harris, according to the most recent Rasmussen poll, 52-45. So, ladies and gentlemen, these poll numbers, they're not just statistics, they are a wake-up call. The American people are speaking loud and clear, and they are saying they want Trump back in the White House. But here's what I want to know from you. Do you think these poll numbers are accurately capturing the mood of the country, or could Trump's support be even stronger than these numbers suggest? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going.